Hi, my beautiful besties. Welcome to my very dead YouTube channel. Like, seriously, Sanjana, you had promised last year that you would post a lot of videos and you didn't. Now, I'm promising again this year that I will post a lot of videos, and I hope that this time I'll keep my promise. Usually, I'm really good at keeping my promises, but I am really lazy when it comes to editing, and it's such a big nightmare. Like, I don't know how YouTubers like that, people who are famous or people who want to be YouTubers, how do they like edit? Like, why do they like editing? Like, reels, give them to me. I will give you the most beautiful reels. I will even learn new stuff for reels. But YouTube, anything I have to edit on my MacBook or on my iPad, it just gets on my nerves. But this year I want to do more content creation. I want to explore more things, and I want to just do more than I've done last year, and that's why I'm doing this. So that's why I've decided that I'll do really short videos, because it will be easier for me to edit them, and then it's just more fun as well. Like, eventually I would want to do long ass videos, but this time I'm thinking that the max, like the duration of a video would be max 15 minutes and not more than that. I'm going to try and keep it to that itself, because what I've realized that when I was living in London, and the only videos that I've uploaded are the ones that are just 15 minutes long, that don't require a lot of editing. And at least at the beginning, that's what I'm gonna do, that I'm just gonna shoot like really small videos and like quick videos and then post them, and eventually once I'm like good at editing, I will try and post long as ones. So today we're going to be talking about authors that I think you should read in 2025. Some of these are like really famous, and I'm pretty sure most of the people have read these authors. I'm just going to be telling you why you should read them if you haven't, and why you should keep reading them if you have. Some of them are famous, some, like I said, some of them are not. Some are just like really new, and some like I feel like explored a lot of new authors last year, and that's because of three of my friends, Mel, Sam and Mish. Like, I absolutely love you guys. That I feel like because of these friends of mine, I feel like I've explored more genres, more authors, because these people are so passionate about things, and the way they talk about these books makes me wanna like read them as well. And I'm hoping I am like that for some of you at least. Like, I remind you of something, or like I just want you to read. That's my goal for this year, that I want people to read more books. So first author that we have is Lily Gold. I'm pretty sure most of you guys have heard about Lily Gold. Lily Gold writes why choose romance with very different tropes, and they usually have like 3 men and 1 girl, so it's basically MMMF. These books might sound like they're really smutty, which they are, but I think it's really well written smut, because I have read a lot of why choose romance, and most of the times the smut is so weird or disgusting, then I'm just like, even if the plot is nice, because of the smut, I'm like, I can't read this, I can't overlook something like this. But Lily Gold writes really good smut, and these books are so entertaining. Like, I feel like most of the books, so 4 books are out. I think she's gonna release another book this year, I'm not sure, but all of them have different tropes, and they're such quick reads. Even though they're like really thick books, they're such quick and like fast paced, that I have most of the books I've finished in one sitting. Like, they are so good. My favorite is Triple Duty Bodyguard by her. I gave it 5 stars. I literally started reading it at 12 in the night and finished at 5 in the morning. I could not stop reading. And if you know something, one thing about me is that I like to sleep early, and even though I love reading at night, I will not stay up till late, because I love waking up early in the morning. But they were so good. So it's basically about Briar, who is heroine, like Hollywood heroine, and she hires these ex-military bodyguards, and it's their romance. So it's basically like bodyguard romance, but it has a lot of mystery in it. So there's like a stalker who is basically stalking Brian. That's why she's hired these 3 bodyguards, and it's so good. I genuinely thought that I would be rooting for at least one of them, because this was like this was the first time I was reading a why choose romance. But the way it is written, you're rooting for all of them. Like, you want a guaranteed happy ending where all of the men are with her, and it's absolutely good. And I feel like these books are really good palate cleansers, because in between like really heavy books, these books have a lot of rom-com-y moments. They have good smart, they are quick reads, they also have a lot of emotional depth to it, and they are character driven. I wouldn't say they are trope driven, they are very character driven, and I think you should definitely pick it up. Lily Gold's books. I also feel like I'm blabbering a lot, but anyways. The second author that we have in this list is Kennedy Ryan. I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother has read Kennedy Ryan. Like, she is amazingly good. Like, chef's kiss. Now, her books are really heavy. Most of her books are really heavy and very character driven and very culture driven. Like, she writes books about Native Americans, Indians, minorities, and the way she portrays these cultures, I am getting a history lesson while I'm reading fiction and romance books, and I absolutely hate history, but the way she connects all of these things, it's so beautiful. And the MMCs, let me tell you, the greenest flags ever. I feel like Kennedy Ryan is that author for me that I have never hated any of her books. I think all of her books that I've read, I have read all of her books, by the way. I have given them like more than 4 stars, and my favorite book by her is Before I Let Go, that I read last year. I don't think it came out last year. I read it last year, and let me tell you, it changed me. It changed my life. It changed everything, because first of all, this is like a second chance romance, and I absolutely love a good second chance romance. Also marriage in trouble, but the main thing was the way mental health and therapy was represented in this book. Like, as a psychology student, I always tell people that if you want to read good fiction which has elements of psychology and mental health, you should pick up Kennedy Ryan, because I feel like she kind of like does mental health representation justice. Like, the way she writes it, it's so phenomenal. It's so fucking good. Like, you will not stop reading, you will not put the book down. The plot is so heavy and so well articulated, or like, how do I say it? Anyways, you get the gist. She has a lot of books out. I think another book is coming out this year, and I am so excited. So if you haven't read Kennedy Ryan, you should pick up her books this year. Like, I'm telling you this thing, even if you don't like romance books, even if you don't want to kind of like, I don't know what I'm saying, like, there's nothing wrong about these books. I can't point out anything that would be wrong about these books. You have to absolutely read it. It's like, it's perfect. Next, we have Kate Canterbury. Now, Kate Canterbury, I wouldn't say is an underrated author. I have liked some of her books, I haven't liked some of her books, but I feel like her books are a good time. That's why I've put her name in this list, because I feel like most of them are like small town romances, which we absolutely love, and they have a lot of different tropes, but it's a lot of fun. And I feel like she's one of those authors for me who does like slow burn and angst really well. My favorite book by her is In a Jam. Yeah, In a Jam, that I read last year and I gave it 5 stars. Second, we have Change of Heart, which is basically, I think I've recommended this to a lot of people. It's if you like McDreamy, yeah, if you like McDreamy from Grey's Anatomy, I think you should read this. But then roles are reversed, because the FMC is the resident and the MMC is our intern, and there's so much angst. Oh my god, I ate that book up, like devoured it. It was amazing. And I feel like you should always read Kate Canterbury. Like, I wouldn't say she's like my go-to author, but she is my go-to author when I want a palette cleanser, when I want something fun to read, or like more of like a comfort read. Like, there's obviously stuff happening, but it's like there's just a flow to it, and you just want to be in it. You just want to be in a world and just exist and don't sorry. Okay, yeah. So I feel like they're really fun and cutesy and low-key. And okay, imagine this. I would want you to like curl up in your bed with like hot chocolate or something and just binge read her books, if you want to binge read her books. Next we have is Morgan Bailey. I read her books for the first time last year, and she's written I think only one series. It's a why choose dark fantasy, paranormal fantasy, like fated mates series, and I don't think even the series is complete. The fourth book is coming out this year, but I really enjoyed her books. I feel like I wouldn't say that like really well written, I wouldn't say that they are the best books out there, but I feel like they're just a good time. The only reason I'm recommending is just they are a good time, and I think I would read her books, other books that she releases, because they're just a good time. That's all I have to say. Then we have is Claire Gilmore. I feel like Claire Gilmore is one of those authors for me now. I've read her books, like I think the first time I read her book, the first book was Perfect Fit. I gave it 5 stars. I literally read it on 31st of December, and I was just like, oh, I just want a good read. But then it was so good. I feel like as an author, at least in my Delulu head, I feel like she gets me. Her characters, both of her FMCs, there are 2 books out. There's Perfect Fit and there's Love Interest. Both of the FMCs, I could relate to them so much, like people pleasers and like really strong FMCs, but with like rough past. I know I'm like generalizing it, but I don't know how else to explain her books to you. Just that I feel like her books are really character driven. There's a lot of angst in her books. There's a lot of intimacy in her books. Like the biggest thing about her books, like they scream intimacy. You will get to know, they're single POV, you will get to know your FMC so well. I would have liked if they were dual POV, but it's okay, I get it. I didn't mind while I was reading them, and I feel like I got to know the FMC so well, their careers, their hopes and their dreams, and I really like books like that. Like there is drama happening, but there's not major drama happening. There's no like third act breakup. Absolutely love it. Like there are misunderstandings, but they obviously say this thing that, listen, I love you, but I just need some space. I need to figure this out in my head and what I expect from you, but I love you and I want to be with you. The men, so good. So good. I genuinely feel like I keep saying the same thing about every author, but whatever. Next up we have Annabel Mongan. Annabel Mongan is Emily Henry of new generation. Like I feel like if you've read Emily Henry and if you've read Abby Jimenez, and if you combine both of these authors, Annabel Mongan is basically their child. That's what I feel like. I've read 3 books, like only 3 books are out. So Nora Goes Off Script, there's same time next year, and there's Summer Romance. Summer Romance and Nora Goes Off Script, both of them I gave 5 stars last year. They are perfect summer vacation reads. Like imagine yourself sitting on a beach or like on a tropical vacation spot and just reading her books. They are really fast paced, and the story starts from the very first page. They are very character driven, they are very fun, they are also very emotional, and they are very just the kind of books, because I said like I feel like she's Emily Henry's and Abby Jimenez's child. Her books make you think. That's how I'll explain her books, that they will make you think, not like, oh, I'm staring at my wall and like 3 in the night I'm just crying, but just they give you perspective in life. Now obviously it's on you how you take them, but I feel like at least with me, they made me kind of like appreciate small things in life. That's the biggest thing for me, is that her books make me think about the smallest of things and how they impact our life, and I think it's beautiful. Next up, very fun, very angsty, very enemies to lovers coded in the truest sense, we have Kiara Parsi. Mish recommended her books to me, and Mish, if you're watching this, know that my heart belongs to you. So good. I keep saying the same thing, but I'm telling you guys, these authors are actually like really good. Okay, her books, I think I've read 2 of her books, Deal with the Bossy Devil and Failure to Match. Let me tell you, these days when people say that it's an enemies to lovers, I feel like they're just catfishing us into thinking that only one of them hates the other person and there's instant connection or instant interaction. But here they're actually enemies. The banter is top tier. Like, oh my god, I was giggling like a schoolgirl, kicking my feet in the air with their interactions, and I'm like, I just want to be a fly on that wall where they're bantering, because it's so entertaining. So entertaining, oh my god. And very, like, if you are an acts of service girly, you will absolutely love the MMCs. I think you should pick up Kiara Parsi in 2025. Only two more authors. Next up we have Rachel Gillick. Sam, my beautiful, beautiful girl, thank you for introducing Rachel Gillick to me. Like I promised, I will give you everything I have. I will write you in my will, and I will also give you my firstborn if you want. Rachel Gillick wrote The Shepherd duology, and it's my absolute favorite fantasy book. Like, I am a romance reader through and through, but I feel like after years I found an author, like a fantasy, romantasy author that speaks to my soul. Every single thing about those two books, the duology, both of the books, it's really, sometimes I've really rarely found books where both of the books in the duology are really good, but this was amazingly, like, I finished them, I wouldn't say in one sitting, but so quickly. And it takes me some time to get into fantasy, but the world building, the characters, the side characters, the plot, the writing, how poetic it was, every single thing about the Shepherd duology I love. Absolutely love it, and I think you should pick it up. Like, I'm not going a lot into what the books are about, because then this video will be like 2 hours long, honestly. But if you like fantasy, if you are looking for a duology, not a really long series, if you're looking for a new fantasy author that does justice to her characters, I think you should pick up the Shepherd duology, and you should read more books by her. Last up we have Becca Mack. Becca Mack, I know a lot of people don't consider me the first book in the series, and I understand why you don't like that book. I absolutely get it, but I feel like the entire series, the Vancouver something series, it's my favorite sports romance series. I feel like Liz Tomford's Windy City series and this, it's the same for me. I absolutely love Becca Mack's books. I love the rom-com-y vibes it gives. One thing you will see with her books is that with every book, the emotional intimacy, it increases, the depth that her characters portray, it increases, and they are such a good time, but at the same time so tearful. You are so emotional while reading her books, and you should pick it up. I don't know what good this video is doing to you guys. I'm just making it and putting it out there, and yeah, I hope you like watching me blabber and miss a lot of words in between, mispronounce a lot of words in between, cough, and I don't know. But these are some of the authors I think you should pick up in 2025, and I hope I make more videos. I hope after I finish recording this video, I edit it and I upload it. I hope I keep my promise. I hope you guys keep watching me. Stay tuned for more videos.